Good morning, Facebook stalkers. This is Kate with Lifeworthy, and I am here with another Optavia fueling review. I'm actually going to be reviewing one of my favorite things today, and that is the spinach pesto mac and cheese with basil and a blend of Parmesan and Romano cheese. This is what the package looks like. And the directions on this say to mix the containers of the packet with a half a cup of cold water in a deep microwave safe bowl. Stir it, heat it for a minute and a half, stir it, let it sit, heat it for another minute, stir it, let it wait for about 5 minutes, and then eat it. So this one has a little bit more time to make involved. I mean, we're still only talking, say 5 minutes for it to wait, 1 minute, 2.5, 3 minutes. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at like less than 10 minutes to make this. And it is, like I said, it's one of my favorites. So I've been eating this a lot for dinner and saving a little bit of my lean and green to eat with it. So, because you can do that. I try not to do it too often. I talk about doing this a lot, but the reality is I probably only do it twice a week. So there are certain leanest options that have pretty big portion sizes, and I am not a big portion person. So I would prefer sometimes to eat part of my lean and green with one of my fuelings, so that I can basically avoid having to eat that much all at one time. Now that's not a common problem, I think, but what I will do with this is I will take some of my ground turkey or some ground chicken or even some really lean ground beef, and I'll put just maybe a third of my fueling or a half of my fueling, or of my fueling, a third to a half of my lean and green, my lean to this packet. So I'll brown up the chicken or the turkey, or even the ground beef, and I'll take 2 to 3 ounces of it. I don't need much, and I'll add it to this. I'll take some of my asparagus and I'll add it to this as well. So the asparagus kind of acts like noodles a little bit. It adds a nice crunch. I roast my asparagus before I put it in here. So usually I'm roasting my asparagus while I'm waiting for this to cook. I am not at home today, so I am going to be making this by itself, which is honestly why I'm doing the review today instead of the other days that I've eaten this, because I want you to see what it looks like when it's just by itself. So as usual, I'm going to show you what it looks like before it's cooked. Going into my trusty mug. So there is a lot of powder and there are some noodles in this. So you will get a little bit of pasta, which is always fun. So let me grab the camera here. And this is what it looks like before you put water in it. Now, I had somebody ask me the other day, I had somebody ask me the other day how I handle making my stuff when I have to measure everything. So I have one thing that most people don't think about. When you get your kit, you get one of these lovely Optavia blender bottles. On the side of the blender bottle is a measuring marks. So if I need 4 fluid ounces, I need to fill it up to here. Now, I live in South Texas. We have extremely hard water, and the water at my office is not filtered. That is why I have bottled water. I will use bottled water over distilled, simply because the distilled water is used for my coffee machine, and I prefer not to waste that on this. Take the blender out here. And I'm going to fill up to that 4 ounce mark line. There we go. So that gives me the right amount of liquid, which allows me to, actually cook it right. So I'm going to dump that in the cup along with the Fueling, and I'm going to stir it up. Because this is a pasta, I'm going to stir it with a fork, keeping in mind that I need to make sure nothing gets stuck on the fork. So I had this happen once where I somehow managed to skewer the pasta noodles. And then, you know, it wasn't stirring real well. But other than that, you do have to kind of stir this a little more vigorously than you would, say, the brownie or the chocolate chip cookie or something, because the cheese tends to rehydrate pretty quick and it gets clumpy. And you do not want a clump of powder when you actually take a bite out of this. So I'm scraping down the sides of my cup. All right. Got a little bit on my hand there. All right, so this is what it looks like when it's all mixed up and ready for the microwave. There we go. So you can kind of see that it's cheesy. You can see that it has the pesto herbs in it. Honestly, that's part of why I love this. I love pesto. If you're not a pesto person, you are not going to like this Fueling, because that taste is very strong. Now that's a good thing, because a strong flavor kind of tricks your taste buds into thinking that you're eating a big meal when you're not, or at least that's the case for me. So a minute and a half here. There we go. And as I've said with all of these Fuelings, if it says to let it sit, let it sit. Don't stir it while it's sitting, just let it sit. Because if you keep stirring during the let it sit time, you're going to end up with a kind of a watery mess, because the powder won't have time to kind of clump together and give you that that pleasing texture. You'll end up with kind of a soupy mess. So when it says let it sit, let it sit. I think that's just about it. I will pick this back up after I have done my cooking and sitting and cooking and sitting. And we'll take a look at this, and I'll show you what it looks like before it gets stirred for the last time. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the flavor of it once it's done. So, see you in a few minutes. Okay, so the spinach pesto mac and cheese has cooked. It has sat. It is now still a little soupy, but I don't know. It's very, very saucy, I suppose. So let's take a look at this now after it has cooked, and I will let you know what it tastes like. Without dropping the camera, please. All right, like I said, this is one of my favorites, but I do usually add stuff to it. So let's take a look at this without stuff in it. Pasta. So like I said, it is a little saucy. I think when I add the meat in this and everything, it absorbs some of this liquid. But that being said, it is definitely good. And I like it, so hello. Because of the cheeses, it kind of has a Alfredo sauce type taste to it. I like the chewiness of the pasta. It's cooked well. I like all the herbs. I will say it kind of has that taste that most microwave pasta has. And I don't know if that's just because it's in the microwave or because it's that kind of pasta. Oh, I mean, I have no idea. But I don't mind it. I mean, it reminds me of like the cafe steamers, or you know, some of the pastas you get in the microwave dinner section. But it's pretty good. And definitely if you're adding asparagus or ground turkey in it, or both, this is gonna beef up a little bit, and a lot of that sauce is gonna get absorbed by the stuff that you put in it. But as you can see, I'm eating it pretty fast, so it's pretty good. So that is my review for the spinach basil pesto mac and cheese. Spinach pesto mac and cheese. And you know, I definitely, if you like Parmesan Romano cheese, you're gonna like this. If you like Alfredo pasta, you're gonna like this. If you like I don't know, even if you just like having kind of a meal, you'll like this. What I like about the hearty options, especially the soups and the pastas, is that you don't feel like you're eating a Fueling. You feel like you're eating lunch, okay? I wouldn't say you feel like you're eating dinner because it's not as heavy as most of us, at least at the beginning of this process, think of dinner. But it is a rich flavor. It is definitely hearty. It sticks to your bones, like all the Fuelings do. And usually after I eat this, the only thing I will say is that I keep Listerine strips at my office because the cheese and the pesto smells. Makes me have bad breath a little bit. But that would happen if I ate any pesto pastas, so I'm not complaining on that. But I do enjoy it, and if you want to give it a try, give it a try. As a funny story, though, I will tell you that I completely and utterly screwed up one of my Fuelings. One of these Fuelings, actually. This weekend, I wanted to see if it was possible to make a waffle out of the spinach mac and cheese. The reason for that is because I've seen a lot of people make the cheddar mac and cheese into waffles, into grilled cheese type sandwiches, which is really kind of funny to me. And I don't know if it's because I have a very old, very cheap, very beat up waffle iron, or if it's because this really just is not the right consistency or anything to be doing this. But I attempted to make waffles out of my spinach pesto mac and cheese. It did not work. I will say that it actually kind of baked it up a little bit. And I really enjoyed the flavor, but it was not visually appealing. So one of these days I'm actually going to put this on a griddle, and I gotta find the right griddle. I may try this in a pan and try actually heating it that way, and see if the Fueling basically crisps up like it did in the waffle maker, but maybe a little more consistently instead of just the bottom. Now, like I said, I think part of it is I think my waffle iron is broken. I think the heat's only coming from the bottom and not the top, and the way that those things work, it really has to be both sides for it to cook. But I've had the same waffle iron since college. I'm pretty sure, and it was a Walmart special that I think I got for $12. So not the best waffle iron in the world. It's not an Oster, it's not a Dash, it's not any brand name. It says GTC on top. I have no idea what GTC is. But it was very cheap at the time, and I was pretty broke. So yeah, that was my waffle maker. But if I ever do this on the griddle, I will do an update to this video and let you know how that goes. I'm also considering posting a Optavia hacks fail video because I've had a couple of things I've tried that have not worked correctly. And like I said, a lot of it is I think I'm using old small appliances. But yeah, the waffle, the attempt to make this into a waffle was the biggest fail of all. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Keep on the journey to health. Get on it if you're not on it already. If you want more information or you have questions, you can send them to me in my inbox. You can send them as a comment to any of my videos. And I will be compiling a list and doing a question and answer video once I have a couple of questions to answer. I am not a certified health coach yet, which makes me a little different than most of the people posting. Most of them are getting some form of payment from Optavia, not for their videos, but because they're coaching. I'm just going through this. I may become a coach at some point because this is making a difference for me. And I would love to help it make a difference for other people too. But I'm not there yet, and I want to make sure that this is sustainable for me and that I can kind of rock this program before I go and tell other people to go and rock this program. So, just keep that in mind as you're watching my videos, that I'm being honest here. I'm not going to tell you something is good when it's not. I'm not going to tell you something is bad when it's not. I'm going to tell you the truth, and from my opinion anyway. So, let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. And if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. It really makes me happy. It doesn't cost you anything, and it lets me know that people are watching this, and it's really working as an accountability for me. So please consider dropping me a comment, posting on a comment on there, or subscribing, or both. Both works. And if you have a fueling that you're interested in that I haven't reviewed yet, let me know. I will go out of my way to make sure I do those reviews. This is a resource I wish I had had before I started. There are many reviews out there, but they don't talk about the texture, they don't talk about the size, and they don't, it seems like everyone likes everything. So I'm trying to be honest here and give everyone the resource I wish I'd had. So catch you on the flip side. Have a great day, and keep on your journey.